Hello there! How's everybody doing this evening? Alright, welcome to another Tech Tuesday stream. Always fun, always on time. That last one is how you guys doing? I hope everyone's having a good time. We're gonna have a lot of fun today. Last time I did recommend everyone put on some Shire music. I am aware of the ominous tone of my room, by the way. It is fitting. It is fitting, indeed. No, so last time I recommended everyone listen to some good old shy music, some peaceful vibes to get you through the long winters. You know what I mean. Um, that's not gonna work this time, I'm afraid. While excellent music for sure. This today's gonna take a bit of a darker turn for well, as Tolstoy put it, there is war and peace, and we've had peace, and it's time for war. It is Lord of the Rings, and they fight in those movies. So today we will be creating a battle simulator, and I don't know if it'll quite rival some of the Steam games, but it might come closer than we expect. um, cool. So today we're gonna be making a battle simulator, just a basic, fun, everyone's having a good time battle simulator. Um, it's just gonna be yeah. Sorry, it's checking something. Cool. Yeah. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. I think I think today's gonna be a bit more casual than last time, maybe. In terms of the actual coding, it's gonna be more of half of it's gonna be you coding or figuring it out with me, just sticking along for the ride. But I think it'll be a good time. We're gonna discuss things like services. We're gonna use them a bit more in depth than previously. It'll be fun to see the value of shared components and yeah, just all around fun. So some of the pre-existing work here, we've got our glorious Lord of the Rings map, the map of Middle Earth. I've already set up this form. So here we're going to be picking the one of the different unit types. So since it is a battle sim, we're going to have different types of soldiers with different stats, and then you pick your number of soldiers, and from then on we're going to have them fight it out. So far I believe it does nothing, but that will soon change. Alright, so let's go through what we've got a bit here. So we can, I think we can start with our battlegrounds. So battlegrounds so far does not do much. It calls the war controls, as we can see here. A nice thing about one of my favorite things about components is you can really categorize everything logically beforehand. So you can really like with functions, the idea of separation of concerns, you can have a similar mindset when creating components, and it's really nice. It's very good for reusability. It gives a nice modular feel to the way you're coding, and it's very nice. Here we can see an easy example of reusing. So we've got the app army component that we're going to be using twice. For each side of the war. Believe it or not, there are often two sides to war. Some say three, with the third time side is the truth, but let's not get too philosophical just yet. Uh, so the is left is going to be, if we go and look at the army component, is left is basically just a way of differentiating which side we want to work with, or which side this component is going to be working with, so that we can use the same component for essentially the same functionality, but we will need to be able to tell the difference between if it's the right or the left side. And then where most of the logic is going to be taking place, you can think of it as like the backbone of the central place where it's all going to happen, is going to be at the battleground service. So it is possible to perhaps get away with using a service here, but what's nice about a service is it really offers the ability to have the information the information you're busy using. It can be accessed by anything that can call the service. So what's really cool about that is if, say, you've got the war in Gondor, all the information happening over there can be received by the War of Rohan, the two kingdoms in Middle Earth. For the people who have yet to watch the movies, won't name names, but you know who you are. So. So it's really nice having that access to the information. It's got a very global feel to it, and it's again a central storage of logic and access. You can control everything at one place, which is much nicer than having to change it in 18 different locations, which is always a bonus. All right, so let's get started. I reckon we start with the service. So we're going to start by setting up our behavior subject. So this is RxJS. Let's call it army settings. So we're going to say new behavior subject. So it's going to be of type form group, which is the way we're going to be handling this, because the reason for that is if we go and look at our war controls, these are so this is probably the most code. Since we're not really focused with this, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but we've got ourselves a form here. It's a reactive form, and it's going to be the data that this form gets is stored in the form in this variable of type form group, and that's going to be really nice for essentially just it's a really good way to capture the controls. So you're definitely going to be using a form group. We can initialize it. I'm just going to go with this as form group just to get us started. And then so this is our behavior subject. A short just explanation. It basically, behavior subject is a value that can be updated, and it's a much better way of tracking how the value is manipulated, specifically because you can create an observable of the of the behavior subject, and an observable is a way to let everything be able to subscribe to the value in the behavior subject and be updated and notified and all that, and be able to perform logic on value changes whenever something happens to the behavior subject. And so the observable, it essentially emits a signal every time that happens. The signal contains the values of the behavior subject, and everything subscribed to it can gain access to it, which I think is really cool. It's very fun. So we're gonna go ahead, army settings dot as observable. Awesome. So we've got that started. We can basically, so we're gonna have begin battle, where this is gonna be the logic that a function we can deal with later. It's going to pretty much be when you click the fight button. We're gonna call that, and then it's gonna take all the data and have everyone hash it out in a not so fun and friendly way, but definitely fun. Definitely fun. So we're gonna set army settings. Alright, so this is going to be kind of like a setter for those who know Java, and well, I guess many other languages use setters as well, but fight me. So cool. So this is going to take in a form. The idea behind this is that we're going to use this as the way to change the behavior subject's value. So it's this dot. Whoa, not what I meant to do, but it happens. Life goes on. Maybe I should try a more Bob Ross approach to these in the future. Who knows? It could be fun. Painting with code. That'll be a fun video. So, right. So I'm wrong. I was off the wrong track with that. So basically this dot next value. It's essentially just setting the current. Setting the next value in the behavior subject, basically just setting it to a new value, and it changes it. So we're going to set this to the form, and I think it would be fun to just console.log the changing value, so we can just always see It's a nice way of tracking if our code is working, at least while we're developing it. So I think that's a pretty fun place to start for now. Um, so now what we want is we want to go into our war controls, and we actually want to um, have it so that at the start, when we're changing the settings, the service is updated as we make the changes. This will be fun because as you increase the number of, say, soldiers, you'll see them generating. Oh, spoiler alert, we're actually going to see the armies, which I think is going to be fun. So yeah, so we can actually make a function. Let's go with, I suppose we can just call it in, yeah, we can subscribe to what's a good so oh yeah, to the form changes. So form changes. Cool. So what this is going to do is it's going to allow us to subscribe to any changes that occur in the war controls form. So we're going to take the army form that we've got here, the start army form, and what's cool about this is we have access to its dot value changes, which yeah, is pretty cool. I must change this name, but we'll call it form subscription. Well, we can then set this equal to subscribe to form changes. So this will then take the value of the subscription, just to type it properly, subscription. Cool. So once we've got this, so yeah, we're going to be using a pipe. Pipes are really cool. I know a certain someone who loves pipes and builds massive pipelines, of which a plumber would be jealous. And it's they're actually pretty cool. They allow you to perform operations on your subscriptions before you subscribe to them, and oftentimes you can actually move a lot of the functionality that you do inside. Have I misspelled? No, I haven't. So okay, it's just a see. Oftentimes you can actually move a lot of functionality that could be done inside the subscribe into the pipes, and it just creates a nicer, cleaner workflow, which is pretty cool. So for starters, we're going to want a debounce time. This is just going to be so that when you type in 10, for example, if we go and look here, if you type in 10 and you're a little slow on the second zero, it doesn't update with each number pressed. It gives you that 250 millisecond grace period. Yeah, which is always nice. It's always nice to have a little grace. And right, so I think moving on from there, but just to show, so tap is basically, it's another pipe from RxJS. It essentially allows you to do it's like an interrupt essentially. No, not so much an interrupt, an interjection. You basically in the pipeline you can do pretty much anything within the tab. So for example, a switch map is to change the value of the subscription, whereas a tab can just do anything. So we're gonna use our tab to take our service. So this is a good time to show. To actually get the service, we go into our constructor here, and to access the battleground server, so we're going to call it private battle. Let's call it battle service. That sounds cool. So battleground service. There we go. So yeah, we're going to take this dot battle service, and we're going to basically set the oh, sorry, we've got our function now, so we can set the army settings, and we're going to set it to this dot army form. So what we're doing here is that every time we have a change in our form, it updates the service to the new form. which will allow us to always have access to all our values and see how they're changing. So then we can finish this off with a subscribe, boom, and then return it. So we return it. We set that. I think that ought to work. And then at the end here, we can go and use our trusty on destroy. Let's change this name that I used terribly. There, this, and we unsubscribe from it. Cool. So now let's test if I've done this all correctly. So as we should see the console log updating. So if I change this to Gondor, hey, there we go. Look at that. So remember we put the console log in the settings or in the set function, and if we go and look in our values, value, there we go. 0, 0, Gondor Soldier Orc. Okay, these are still set. I should actually set these to just blank values. I think that'll work better. Cool, so we've got that going. So now we can move to our army component. So this is going to be essentially the component that builds our armies. So you'll see here we've got our div. It applies FX layout row wrap, which is going to be really fun. It allows us to, as more cards generate, they can just start filling in under each other as the number of cards grow. So what I've already gone and built is added a few soldier types. So we've got dwarves, which are my personal favorite. Then we've got orcs, and then their far superior brother, the Urukai, which I think are really cool. Gondor soldier, also really cool unit. And then we've got the elves, who in my opinion are a little hoity-toity, but that's neither here nor there. Cool. So what we've got here is, since in our war controls we have a selector for the soldier type, here we're going to be recording the soldier type, and it'll only be displaying the card that corresponds to that type. So if the current soldier type is elves, then only this card will be showing, and it'll be populated by the NG4. So to show what's going on here, well actually nothing's going on here yet, except we've already got that. Let's keep this consistent. Battle service. Cool. So here we're gonna go on and have some fun here. So what we want to essentially do in this component is, as the forms change and update, we can have this react to it. So how we're going to do that? Well, that's where the subscription comes in that I mentioned earlier with our trusty observable. So this dot battle service dot $, to indicate that it's an observable. We can go on ahead and subscribe to this, and then we will call it form values. Let's go with that. I think form, or let's say, yeah, form. Let's go with that. I think form should be fine. Maybe war controls. I like war controls. I'm gonna call it war controls. So war controls, we're gonna have some fun with that. Right. So for starters, what we can do is we're gonna distinguish this between if is left army and then an else. So why I want to do this is, where you'll see if you go to the war controls, there are different properties in this form. Okay, we track the size of the left army and the size of the right army, then the type of the left army and the type of the right army. So what we want here is to only have the correct side be updated, because remember that we call this component twice, and since that'll create two components and they'll both be updating according to the service, we want only the correct values to be changed. So we don't want the right army to be changed by the left army's values. I think that is fairly sensible. It speaks for itself. Cool. So we would want to go on ahead and Um, I think it'll be best to make a variable here just for readability. So we'll call it army size, or let's call it num soldiers. I think it'll be nicer. Num soldiers, and then so this is where it gets fun. So we've got our war. My bad. War controls dot. So this, yeah, we've got our values. Let's see, there, value. Um, so we'll add a trusty null check there just to make sure nothing breaks for when there aren't values. But we'll do that, and then once we've got that, we can check for left army size. So we can just go make sure, yeah, just have the console pop up. So this is now war controls, so it's war controls dot values, and then we're gonna say dot left army size. So that should give us what we want from that, which will be a, ooh, it's not typed, all right. Anyway, so then now we're going to want to take our soldier or our army. So we're going to say this dot army size, and this is actually a pretty interesting thing. So this is going to be to make it work here, we need to essentially use a pretty cool array method to convert the number into an array with as many positions in it as that number. So yeah, we've got num soldiers, say it's going to be 10. We need this to become an array of 10 positions. So we're going to set it equal to array and then num soldiers. And I think if this is undefined or whatever, we'll just replace it, make it default to 0. And then we're going to say full 1 dot map, and then here we have just x, because why not, and I to indicate index, fat arrow, and then I. So we populate it, so we build an array with certain numbers, and then if you see the full method, it changes all array elements from start to end, index to a static value, and returns the modified array. And then from that, we just turn it into a bunch of numbers. We just literally return the indexes of the different arrays, so that it'll just be an array of numbers. Most important thing is that it has the length of the army that we want, so that it'll populate correctly. So if we do that, before we can actually test if this works, however, we'll need to be able to select our army size. So for that, our soldier type. So for that, we also have a global variable, this soldier type, and we're going to set that equal to war controls dot value null dot left army soldier type. And awesome. So if everything's going well, if we should see that, let's say we select dwarves. Let's first actually make sure that's not the right thing. Value changes. Ah, there we go, dwarves. See, everything is working. I wasn't even worried. I don't know why you guys are stressing so much. She was. Haha, laughs nervously. So, if we increase this by 1, we get our first dwarf. We increase it by 1 again, we get our second dwarf. And so on. And see, that was the debounce time in action. If we increase it by a bunch of, we want to keep going up one by one, but we don't want it to upgrade each time. 30, boom. Look at all those dwarves. Now I know it goes off the map, but yeah, you know, shh, don't worry about it. So we've got our army, 30 formidable dwarves, each one more ready to go than the last. Don't toss any of them. I hear that doesn't go well. It's a terrible idea. Only under very, very special circumstances. And we can go and change these to orcs. Boom. Lovely little orcs over there. Each, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I'd go for a go have a picnic with those guys. They look like they They look like they'd form a solid book club. And these guys, yeah, same actually, same. Not the elves. I feel like they'd only read very very cringe literature. But that's neither here nor there. They're the Gondor soldiers. Oh, they're awesome. I like them. I see I have left the the elves out. I see. So here we've got our, just for what it's worth, we've got our soldier types enum. This just helps us to make sure that we're always using the same strings. It's never fun when you get your strings mixed up with, say, doing something like that. Everything breaks because your stupid face forgot that it's supposed to be a capital S. Enums help standardize that. It's really cool. And as a university student who didn't understand enums, I am now glad that I very much did do, and I do not look back on those days. Oh, my past self envies my current self. Let's put it that way. Cool. So let me just quickly go check where I left the. It'll probably be. Oh no, it won't be. It will be war controls. Yes. Where would it be? Yeah, we go. So yeah, we set our soldier types. You'll see there's a certain. Is this thing on? It is on. All right. I'm not sure if. Let me check my OBS quickly. All right. I'm sorry about that. My headset cut out. It's Justin's fault. If you don't know who Justin is, you're missing out. But it's his fault nonetheless. All right. Cool, cool, cool. So if we move on, we want to add the elves. So it's going to be soldier types dot elves. Boom. So much easier than having to remember the actual text of everything. Very frustrating. So that's fun. And now we can also go and see that, so that'll populate the wrong alt tab. This will now have the elves there, and we can see their cards. Oh, not their pictures though. Let's see what's wrong with the elf card. If we go to shared, elf, assets, elf, did I misname it? PNG, not a JPEG. You always gotta catch up. Never take an extension for granted, guys. Won't go your way. Let's see. We do that. Interesting. Nothing happens because there's not a selected type. Then we click elves. Hey, look at those. I wouldn't want to get shot by one of those. And if you do want to get shot by one of those, if you want one of these archers to shoot you, I would recommend taking a long, hard look at your life and wondering what brought you to this position. And that has been advice with Benjamin. Moving on. Cool. So now we've got ourselves, and just to see, we haven't got the Yoda card quite figured it's set up yet. I think now would be a fun time. So for what it's worth, I think everyone should learn VS Code keyboard shortcuts. They are amazing and life changing, and without them, I think I wouldn't, I can't without them. I just can't. So there I clicked Shift Alt down arrow, and it copies the line down. It's really useful, and then you can use Alt up arrow and down to move it around. It's really nice for copying down a line. Yeah, keep it in mind. So we're gonna go App Yoda. For what it's worth, in case you're not following, which is perfectly fine. Each of these are a component I made for the type of, and now's a good time to actually spend some time on that. Each of these is a card I made for the unit type. So they're all built off this original card idea, which is one of the nice things the thing I love about shared components is they can be really powerful. You go here, you go say the elf, you call the app card, you give it a name. Whoops, you don't want to do that. Give it an image source, and then it handles everything else for you. All the sizing stays the same for the different units. The naming stays the same. It all gets handled for you. If I want to make a new one, I can just go to shared, generate a component, give it a name, call this component, give it an image, and it handles everything for me. That's a really nice components are great. Yay components. I don't know why I looked at my OBS. Yay components. Cool. So since we've got a Yoda component, and just in case you're not following, that is Yoda from Star Wars, and in case you're thinking, what? What? Yoda in a Lord of the Rings battle simulator? What's going on? And my answer to that is, look, dude, it's my video. I can do what I want, okay? I really, really want to have Yoda in this. I think it would be funny. I think it would be cool. I don't know why you're fighting me on this. So I'm just going to keep doing it. And that's that. Thank you very much. Uh, Cool. Let's see what Yoda is. I can't even remember which picture I used. Let's check. Yoda. Hey, there he is. All magnificent and wise looking, just like me. Um, so, if we were to go forward, we've got now our armies looking pretty good. Let's actually set up so we can actually copy this code. Whoa. And we can paste it there. So the only thing we want to make sure we're doing now is that we're not using the left army, but rather the right one, where appropriate. So yeah, we want the right armies to be changed. So let's go and check if that works. So we can set this to 5 Gondor soldiers and 5. Whoa, I'm going the wrong way. Orcs. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so awesome. We've set it up. This is the power of the service. Now, as we make changes to the war controls, it updates the form. The form values are changed. This subscribes to those changes. So every time the war controls change, it goes in here, it changes the values for the army component, those used to build the cards. It's really fun. It's really easy as well. You can see that there's really not a lot of code done. I mean, I suppose there's code to set up the form and all that, but once you've got that, you really can get access to those values really easily. It's very fun. I know I'm saying fun a lot, but it's because I'm having fun. And it's because of services. So yay, thanks Angular. Let's see, what else are we gonna get going here? Right, so now I reckon it's the time to actually have these lads fight each other, and lasses, actually, because female elven archers, they'll shoot you in the face, bro. Don't mess. Don't even. Okay, just don't even. Just okay. You think you know what's up. Right. So for that, we're gonna want to go to the battleground service. First of all, actually, war controls. So you'll see here we've got our button at the bottom. It calls on submit. If we go into it, we can say this dot battle service dot begin battle. And actually, we don't have to send anything into the service because of the subscriptions, everything's set up so nicely that it actually just, yeah, it already works. Everything's already hunky-dory. So if we go there, cool. So this is going to be fun. This is just going to be a lot of mathing. So so one mistake I made in my prep for this video is I put all the character stats in the components themselves, but there's not a very code-friendly, effective, easy, intuitive way to get these values out from the components. I mean, you could use outputs or something, but that's not quite gonna work. Not super well. So it's actually gonna be much easier if I just move this all into the service. Yeah, I think it's just for simplicity's sake. It's not gonna be the prettiest thing, but actually, yeah, what we can do is we can set soldier stats. We can let's think, what's the best way to do this? if we go back, so we've got character stats, so it's this. This is of type soldier. It's a type we already have. Um, so we've got an object, so it would have to be not. We wouldn't really want it to be an array of objects. I suppose we could have it be a. We could build the object, but we'd have to update it. I think yeah. I think the best is just to do this and paste it like that. I think I am going to, yeah, I think it's just, so this is the elf. I am going to leave them in the components just because they're not hurting anyone and it is nice to see, it feels like it's part of that components like logical concept, so you can actually go and measure you can go and check what the stats are for the elves. Just to clarify what the stats are: damage, how much damage something can deal; health, how much damage it can take; armor, how much armor it has; and armor piercing is going to be how easily it demolishes armor. So I think that's fun. Cool. So let me just quickly go through and copy all of these. So just bear with me. I'll act as if you're telling me a cool story about your day. Oh wow, that's cool. Yeah. Wow, did he really? I'm not actually gonna listen to the story about your day, dude. Sorry, come on, man. Don't be ridiculous. Where are we going? Battleground service. Let's go. Uh, dwarf. Um, cool. Whoa. That's the dwarf, and we can go to the Gondor soldier. Now would be a good time to turn that battle music, that Lord of the Rings battle music I told you to listen to earlier. That would be a good time to turn that up a little. It'll make this seem way more epic. Ah, man, what is it? It's not dwarf, it's Gondor soldier. Right. Gondor. I'm wondering now if there's not a better way to do. Whoa. Let me think, because when we send all this through, we're gonna have to type. I think. What would be best? I think I'll go with this for now. Maybe we can refine it later in the future. You're welcome to type in the comments how angry you are at not having a better way of doing this. Sorry, I didn't quite get to think this far. Alright, let's get the orc. Also, if you're gonna complain about these characters being imbalanced, I was gonna say I don't work at Riot or Valve. I'm not good at balancing games, but then again, neither are they. So maybe I do work there. We can call this orc, and then I'm totally gonna think of a better way to do this later and feel so silly. But here we are. I would have done this, but load shedding is no one's friend. So, and it waits for no one. Well, maybe some people, but we don't talk about that. And lastly, I think we'll include Yoda, because Yoda's dope. He's also pretty powerful. I think, just for what it's worth, I think a really fun thing that we could have added was, check his damage is pretty high. One thing that's fun that we could have added was, I was thinking of toying with the idea of evasion and maybe even a hit chance. So, you know, that could have been fun. So to make it a little bit less predictable in how things would turn out. But yeah, I think that's fine for now. Right, so one thing I've been thinking about is with the war controls. When we click on the submit button, we only want to do this if the what, or rather, actually we'll do that later. To the service, what we can do is we're gonna take the current army settings. I actually think I'm gonna just store it in a const just for readability. let's call it the war. Sure, why not? Equals this dot army settings dot value. There we go. So nice. So this is going to be fun. I think what I'm going to first do is have the, so we're going to store, let's say, let's build objects. Let's build left const left army equals, I think, let's see, how can we do this? We can say the, we want to do the war.left army size, left army size. We're gonna, if we're to type it out, we want that times the, so for first we want to work out, say, the health. So say we want health. So this is going to be the health of the total army. So it's going to be war.left army size times soldier dot health. I think it's health. Yes. So that's what we're going to want to do for that, and we're going to want to do the same for armor. We're just going to want it to be, see, they're very useful, guys. Keep your shortcuts in mind. War.left army size times soldier armor with a U because just because this isn't CSS. Don't be ridiculous. So what we want is a good way to get access to the right soldier. So for that, we're first going to want we're going to want to get our type to match. This is going to be a big. That's almost my. I wonder if a switch statement isn't actually going to be best here. Is there not some easy way of doing this that I'm missing? Oh, sorry. A little bit of coffee. Good for the soul. If you're, yeah. Let's wing it. I think winging it's gotten me this far in life. So what we're gonna want to do, let's plan it out, I guess. We can actually change this to armor, and then we're gonna want to do the same with damage and armor piercing. Armor piercing and damage and armor piercing. Then we're gonna want to have the armor minus armor piercing, and see if that's basically if that is still, if there's any armor left, we add that to the health. So I guess we can say health plus equals armor minus armor piercing. I think we can do a check to say, see, armor minus armor piercing is bigger than 0. Else we just make it 0. So cool, that's going to be our health. Yeah, so yeah, this is obviously going to be the right armor piercing versus the left, and we'll actually have to do it back then. Do a reversible like that. So let's go. Let's get going. So first we're going to want to see what soldier types we have. So let's get I wonder if these aren't actually, actually I wonder if this shouldn't be called war. Cause I'm thinking now, if we have the left army's soldier type, then if we, well, actually, let's do that. Let's just start with const. Let's actually just get that for now. So left army settings, let's call it that. Settings equals war dot values or value dot I believe this is correct. This is a form group, yeah. If we did as we did previously, yeah, it's just value. Cool dot. Let's just set this correct. All right, so we're gonna want this to be the army size. Army size. So we'll set its army size equal to that. Do the same, but so how to select two of the same text is Control D. Also very useful. We can make this soldier type. Although I actually see we're not gonna. Army size isn't even right. What's the name again? This is where the console is useful. If we can just check our values. Yeah, left army size. Cool. We're gonna have left army size and left army soldier type. Cool. We can do the same with right. We can just go right. I love shortcuts. Cool. It's always nice to just break things up. You know what you're working with. We can actually yeah, actually the war still makes it more readable. Although I think we can maybe change that name. I think the war would be better for the actual fight. So let's start with, now that we've got this, let's figure out what stats we're going to be working with. So, so I would say we're going to say const left. Actually, we could probably add it. Yeah. Although, would we even need this? Maybe we don't even need the soldier type here. That's actually a good point. We can get rid of the soldier type and rather replace this with a function that returns the. Yeah, let's do this. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get rid of soldier type. We're gonna make it soldier stats, and we're gonna make it this dot get soldier stats. This is going to be a bit of a bit to get through, but it'll be cool because we can reuse it. So we're making a new function here to get soldier stats, and then cool. So I think a switch statement is going to work best for the different types. So yeah, our enum is going to be useful again. So we're going to make this. We can put here. Let's just go with war form group. We go war there. I think I'm okay. So F2 to change this. I'm going to change it to war values. It just feels more appropriate. War values. Right. So this is going to be what we had just now that we actually. So it's going to be that dot army. Yeah, we can add the values here. Army size. See, it's getting on a bit. Let's see. Not army size. Army. Actually, we can. No, let's not make this war values. Let's make this soldier type, which will actually be a string if I'm correct. Yeah, it does return a string. So then we'll make this war values dot values dot damn it dot it's just value. Why am I not able to hit buttons today? war values dot value dot soldier type. Cool. That's going to be parsing, or rather, yeah, let's say left army soldier type. For what it's worth, this is a good reason on why you want strong typing. So because it lets you get your proper intelligence, then this can be right, and then there you go. We can move on to this function now. So what's going to be cool here is we can get the stat for the two different things. We can just send it through. This is already a string, so we can just make it soldier type. And then, alright, let's see if I'm going to remember this right. Case soldier types dot dwarves. It's going to return this dot soldier stats dot dwarf. I should probably be dwarf for consistency, but I'll leave it for now. Break. Cool. We're gonna do that a few times. We'll make this elves. Gondor soldiers. Oh, I'm trying to get through it, guys. I know this is not super what exciting gameplay. I believe that's the meme. And Yoda. Dwarf elves. Oh, I guess it's elf. Gondor soldier. Do I even have all? Yeah, I do. Gondor soldier. Orcs will be orc. Urukai. And Yoda will be Yoda. It'll be. Huh, that was actually not as bad as I thought. So let me just think. How exactly do I think we can actually I wonder, yeah, we can actually probably get rid of these breaks. Whoa, did not mean to do that. And then for all return. I think that'll do. That should work. That makes us yeah, there we go. Now we're returning. That should be that. Then we've got a no, it's not. Not all. They should. I guess maybe default. Undefined. Is that what they want? Return. Does that solve it? Yay. Awesome. Cool. Now we get our stats. That actually, okay, that's a big worry down. Nice. Now we can determine work out our left army. So I like putting things in objects that keeps them controlled. So we're gonna go with left army settings dot army size times soldier stats. Whoa. Dot health. Why is this? What are you complaining about? No. Right. That's what makes sense. Makes sense. There you go. It should be health. Right. Then health. Awesome. Now we're actually getting somewhere. I actually think the end is in sight now. The end is complaining. Is possibly undefined. What do we do about that? Let's just default to orcs. When in doubt, orc it out. People say that. It shouldn't be the case anyway. I'm pretty sure this is just for convention or something as such. So left army's health is going to be left army settings. It's the size times the soldier's health. Then their armor will be the left army size times soldier stats.armor. We don't even need that. I actually don't think we need that. Cool. We should probably just, yeah, well, I'll add a few checks to make sure that we include everything, but I'll do that just now. We can do the same for damage. Probably help to have an armies, yeah. There we've got our damage, and then lastly is armor piercing. Left army size. So in case it's not clear what I'm doing here, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be treating all the members of the army as units in the group, rather less than units and more as a group. So everyone's health is going to be combined into one big pool of health, everyone's damage into a pool of damage. We're going to cover that with armor, and we're going to add an armor piercing. Then we're going to start by having the armor piercing versus the enemy's armor, and then vice versa, and then see if there's any armor to be applied to either army, and then have them fight each other basically in one simple math equation. And we'll see. So I think we'll copy that over, and then every single time we see the word left, we replace it with right. Why does right not have soldier types? So right, that's why. Stats. I don't know what that was, but I blame Justin again. But only because it's Justin's fault. Awesome. Yeah, this we could probably move out into a function just for readability. Would we? Yeah, we wouldn't actually. Yeah, we would just have to take the war values in. So let's do that. Let's start initialize. Well, let's call it prepare armies. Prepare armies as a more of a. It's maybe not the best coding convention name, but it does sound fun. It sounds like they're gonna fight, and I feel like your code should reflect the scenario if that's permissible, which it almost always isn't, but it is now because I get to do what I want. So sue me. Please don't sue me. Please, for goodness sake, do not sue me. Awesome. So accidentally copied that. War values. So yeah, that just makes it much more readable. We can even move that out. We can close it off. We don't need to know. But awesome. Now I think we're gonna have uh, the start prepare on. So we're gonna have make it all caps. Let's start fight. So probably also want to pass in. Okay, wait. Well, we actually can't. That's my bad. We actually can't move this all out. It's gonna be too much work to populate everything. Yeah, because they're in const and not. Alright, that's my bad. There's maybe a way to do it, but I'm not gonna bother with it right now. Would have been fun, but yeah. No worries, no harm. Let's just do the fighting, yeah then. So we're gonna say const. Let's call this fight. That'll be fun. Let's start with armor. So actually, this is where we can do the war. So the war is gonna be, let's see. I'm trying to figure out now what is the most intuitive way to store all this information, because we're gonna have to do. We've got everything figured out now. So we want the health to be times no, not health actually, armor. So we want to start, say, let's say left, to left final armor equals right army, or left army dot armor minus right army dot armor piercing. Cool. And then return 0 if that gets, but we don't want it to be wait, sorry. Yeah, if that's above, now if that becomes smaller than 0, then just return 0 because we don't want the armor piercing to actually dig into the health. So left armor, whoa, I did that one. We can do the same with right armor. There might be a more fun way. Maybe it will be worth doing a video in the future where I go back and think of better ways to do. There's a lot of code duplication in this that I think we'd be better off. This should actually be left and this should be right. Be a lot better off fixing all this. Cool. So that'll sort out the 2 armor. I believe. We'll test that out just now. Const health will be. Oh yeah, actually we can just say left army dot health plus equals that, and then what? Why is this boolean? Oh right, yeah, I'm misusing this. I thought it was, but let's just do it properly. I'd rather do the proper check. I was hoping I could get away with this, but that's not how this works. Cool. That'll fix that. Plus left arm equals that, and then yeah. Right. Cool. We're almost there, and then we can have the final showdown. Oh, so we're gonna have to. Yeah, we've got the damage. So moment of truth, I guess. We'll see. Left. We'll have. So I think the best way to do this is to allow the armies to actually be able to both decimate each other and see whose health is who's got the most health by the end. That could actually be fun. Or rather to see who dealt the most damage and the health remaining. So I think what I'm gonna do is have the pretty much do the same thing here. Let's do this. Yeah. So we copy that again, but we're gonna make it minus equals right army dot damage, and then we're gonna make this left army dot damage. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Cool. And then I think for now I'm just gonna console.log the. Let's see. Well, let's have a victor. Let's say the victor is whoever's got more health by the end. Victor is going to be. Let's actually do this syntax so it's better. So $sign that, and let's see if left army dot health is greater than right army, whoa, dot health, then, right, so if left army's dot health is greater than right army, then left wins, else right. Why is it complaining? Ah, that's why. Awesome. And then let's also include the, uh, let's say with $sign health remaining. Um, so, ooh. Let's see. I think we'll have a check again. Yeah, and then we'll have it be that or that. Cool. So let's see if this all goes down. So let's have 10 Gondor soldiers. That's because that error is just because I dropped it down. So we have 10 Gondor soldiers versus 10 orcs. I think my money's in the Gondor soldiers. So let's see. Nothing's happening. Why is nothing happening? Um, begin battle. Calls all this. Does have a console log at the end. Why is this button not including all that? War controls button. On submit. Start battle. Service to begin battle. Is it triggering the button? Fight. It is. Oh well. No. Works there. I wonder what happened. Let's check. Just try it again in a quick demo. What if it's not because of that? Let's change this to just quick 5 orcs Gondor. There we go. Victory right wins with 45 health remaining. That's insane. I think maybe what we could do before the yeah, I think what happened is the error just broke it. What we can do is log the stats, log it just for fun. Console dot log. Yeah, I'm afraid I don't quite have a fancy display for this ending, but I think I'll refine this all in the future and make it a bit more fun. You can make it left. Let's do that, and then same, yeah. Right. Right on. I'd be curious to see what the stats look like for something like that. So let's have Yoda fight five orcs. Oh, okay, you won't do all that well. Let's have 3 Yodas fight 5 orcs. 2 Yodas. That'll be fun. So I'll get rid of that console log still sometime. So let's check here. The left's health is -1. Whoa. Did I do something wrong here? That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem like... His damage is 50. Well, maybe orcs are stronger than I give them credit for. I knew it. I knew that something didn't seem right. There we go. There's the Yodas. It's 5 Yodas versus 10 orcs. Could be fun. There, now we'll have more. Right? Ooh, just barely. Let's see how many orcs can a Yoda take? Right, still wants. Whoa, huh? See if you can take 5. Yeah, there we go. That's dope. Well, guys, it's been a lot of fun. Thanks for hanging out. I'll check you guys later in the next in the future Text User streams. Hope you enjoyed it and have a good night. Cheers. Stay.